sustainability. That is just a mere introduction of technology and sustainable innovation. Let's visit the content and see whether we have. So I have started with sustainable innovation, and I have said it is the successful exploitation of new ideas of which can further socio, environmental, and economic sustainability objectives. I know you guys have heard that corona cure has been found, but what are scientists doing? They are trying to mind about the welfare of human beings by trying every day, not sleeping, trying various drugs, trying various herbs, trying various chemicals to see whether they can find a cure for corona. So automatically, if we stayed like that, corona would have killed the whole world. But now, at least we are finding some hopes at the end of the day, and that is why you are hearing that we have chloroquine as the medicine for corona. We have the arthritis medicine as the cure for corona. But at the end of the day, when we continue with the same cycle, by the end of the day, we shall have found the cure for corona. So whatever I'm now talking about innovation is those new ideas that we come up. Those new ideas help us to uplift our social well-being. Those new ideas help us in increasing the safety of our environment. Those new ideas help us to gain more money, to stabilize our economy, to increase the stability of our economy. That is what you're saying by innovation. Down there I have said, many best procurement techniques are intended actively to stimulate innovation in the supply chain. So we are being encouraged that we guys in procurement, we guys in supply chain, we should not sleep. We should not remain comfortable. We should try as much as possible to collude, to collaborate with our suppliers, with our partners, with our stakeholders, so that we can continue coming up with new ideas that are going to simplify operations. You guys must embrace the fact that in logistics today, we have several softwares. In warehouse management today, we have several softwares that we are using to simplify operations of procurement activities. So what am I saying? I have said this may include other supplier involvement and partnering. We must embrace that we, as much as we know that suppliers may exploit us in trying to get or trying to sell to us products at a higher price, we must embrace that we cannot live without these guys. We need to incorporate them in our decision making. We need to incorporate them in whatever we do, so that we can borrow ideas, so that we can combine together, exchange ideas, and come up with new innovations. So of course, what you're saying, getting involved in the activities or making sure that you have collaboration with suppliers is very key in increasing the level of innovation, especially in supply chain. I have talked about supplier development, and best practice sharing is another thing that we always do to stimulate innovation in supply chain. What is supplier development? Supplier development involves uplifting or upraising the status of a supplier. For example, a supplier may be good, may be providing quality products, but may encounter challenges or bottlenecks in delivery. Maybe he doesn't have the best transportation. You as a buyer, we are advised that is always good and the best practice, sometimes even to give the transportation means to the supplier so that he can continue delivering the best products. Sometimes the supplier may be having the capability and the willingness, but may not be financially stable in supplying you with the products that you may be willing. What is the best thing that you must do as a procurement guy? It's always prudent, it's always good and advisable to assist in some situations the supplier financially. Uplift him, give him some loan so that he can be able to deliver adequately the products and quality products for that information to you. We also have another stimulator, that is innovation councils or cross-functional innovation steering groups. These are groups that are meant to come together, brainstorm, share ideas, exchange ideas, and challenge each other on the way forward. Sometimes thinking alone may not be a prudent measure, but when you now develop a power of synergy, when you meet as a group, when you meet as friends, and then you mingle together and start thinking together, automatically, I don't know whether the guys have studied, but I always encourage even my students in the discussion groups, if you find someone who is so dormant, this person only listens to your points, but never contribute anything towards any discussion in the group, that is a dangerous person. The simple reason is that this person is going to have his own idea selfishly in his own, and also be able to imitate or copy some of the ideas. So in the exam, you'll finally find the guy shining. But if all of you are active, you'll end up exchanging ideas that are going to stimulate the success of the group. We have another one, that is forward commitment planning. What is it? Forward commitment planning, of course, is trying to predict the future. And not only trying to predict the future, and also coming up with ways where or which are going to help you encounter the challenges that you are likely to get in future. We can predict that automatically with this corona, we are likely to have challenges in what? Many companies are going to be closed. With this corona, we are not likely to get things from China. So it's always a good practice to look for alternative. You know, like in Kenya, we used to rely so much on Chinese products to an extent that it was almost a monopoly supplier in Kenya. But now look, after the corona, what has faced? What have we faced? We are finding even the Mutuba business has been affected. Almost every product that we are getting from China, we are no longer getting it. Can't we now think of an alternative in future? Can we get things from Singapore? Can we get things from Kuwait? Can we get things from any other country? That is what we call forward commitment planning. Down there, I have said sustainable procurement can therefore support sustainable innovation. The question is, how can sustainable procurement support sustainable innovation? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to agree with me that if today you are appointed as a procurement manager in any company and you do your procurement very wisely, you choose very wisely the kind of suppliers that you are dealing with, you choose very wisely the kind of products that you are purchasing, you minimize all the cost involved in the purchasing. At the end of the day, you support innovation. Why? If you choose a competent supplier, this supplier will come with competent ideas. If you choose the best transportation, automatically it's going now to increase a competitive edge in your organization. That is what you're referring to. Let me confirm whether I'm still talking alone or you're still hearing. Just confirm in the public chat whether we are still together. Confirm in the public chat whether we are still together. Brian has confirmed. Vivian, I can see you typing. Eunice, Miriam, I can see. Christine, and then Eunice. Okay, then we can continue. So I'm asking now, or we are discussing something. Can sustainable procurement, and when we talk of sustainable procurement, we are saying if you can be able to purchase ethically in the right manner without any corruption involved, if you can be able to purchase quality products from suppliers, if you can be able to purchase from the right supplier optimum mix, then can you stimulate innovation in your own organization? That is what you're saying. And you're saying, of course, sustainable procurement can support sustainable innovation in the following ways. Number one, if you can be able to source innovative products, services, and processes. You source innovative products that have higher features, products that have many features, products that are unique, products that are of quality, then automatically what's going to happen? You'll stimulate individuals to start thinking more wider in terms of scope. Number two, selecting, supporting, and leveraging the capability of suppliers. That is something that I have said. If as an organization you can be able to support the kind of suppliers who are supplying you, you can be able to select the best optimum mix of the suppliers in the organization. You can be able to align suppliers to be in your category, then automatically you make these suppliers be able even to be open in sharing any kind of information with you. And automatically when they share information with you, you are stimulating innovation. Number three, supporting the buying organization to own innovation capability. Supporting the buying organization to own innovation capability. How? Ladies and gentlemen, I would just wish in future, because I know it's possible, I can foresee this, that in future you are going to be the future procurement managers, supply chain directors. If you get such a position, it's always prudent and wise to have an innovation steering committee. Just have a team in the organization that is meant just to steer innovation in the organization. A team that is meant to be coming up with new ideas. A team that is supposed to be analyzing activities in the organization and looking for more efficient ways that they can improve these activities. Automatically, when you do that, you are going to have supported innovation. You are going to have contributed to sustainable innovation in your organization. That is sustainable innovation. Let's go to technology development. Technology development. I think I talk much about technology. I said we can't have any single organization that is existing without the aspect of technology. We can't have any organization existing without embracing technology. And therefore, whatever we are trying to say, we are trying to say that technology is a key aspect in stimulating innovation, in making sure that we have a sustainable organization. So what are the attributes of technology? What are those contributions? What are those elements that make technology to be an aspect of sustainability? Number one, connectivity. I usually say, it's a term that I always love saying, your network is your net worth. Meaning, technology makes people be connected, and that is the connectivity. Today, I can be able to speak with someone in US. I can be able to chat with someone in India. We can have a video chat with someone in Kuwait. We can have a negotiation with someone or with a team in US. That is via technology. And when we are talking of technology, we are talking of technology via WhatsApp, via Skype, via the phone, via the computer, via the email. Those are all aspects of technology, and they promote what you call connectivity. Number two, integration. Integration is a process of combining or coordinating separate function processes and enabling them to work in a seamless manner. What do I mean by that? With technology, we can find someone from a separate department combining a role with someone in another department, and these roles are going to be combined together to contribute to the overall objective of the organization. That is integration. I'm able to combine your effort, which are different from mine. I'm able to combine someone's skills, which are different from mine, and I'm able to combine other people's skills, which are different from mine. And then at the end of the day, we combine those ideas, we combine those skills, we combine that knowledge to assist in succeeding in the overall objective of the company. Number 3, we have visibility. Feasibility. What is feasibility? Feasibility is the ability to access or review pertinent data or information as it relates to the supply chain. I repeat again, feasibility is the ability to access or review pertinent data or information as it relates to the supply chain. Feasible. Feasible means bringing things more closer. Feasible means having that capability to be able to access things that you could have not accessed there before. Like at this particular time, ladies and gentlemen, you can agree with me that via the internet, we have been able to get a lot of knowledge. Kindly mute your mics. That is Jane. Jane, you are the one who has just joined us. Kindly ensure you mute your mics. Otherwise, the echo was too much. So we are still talking about feasibility. And I was saying, at this particular time, we are able to gather or we are able to access information from any department, any organization, whether in US, whether in UK, whether in Ukraine, whether in Vietnam or anywhere. What we are saying, we can be able to access that information where I'm just seated. I can be able, like we have this guy, Diego. He was able to learn how to draw, we call it what? The stick, just using the YouTube. We have guys practicing via the YouTube. We have guys learning skills via the YouTube. And that is now the point that we are referring to as visibility. The other attribute was responsiveness. And that is the ability to quickly respond to customer needs. I'm very sure at this particular time, people will say that Google is the answer of everything. The reason behind, and even when you're doing your exams, of course, looking from various answers that I was getting, you could have found some are directly taken from Google. Because if you want to know your name, if you want to know the meaning of your name today, you go to Google. If you want to know the direction to a particular place, you are going to go to Google Maps. If you want to know the meaning of some terms, you go to Google. What we are saying, technology has enabled you to receive what we call real and timely feedback immediately you want it. The next one is readily available, of course. As long as you have internet, as long as you have power, information, data is readily available. You can access anytime, 24/7. You can access the internet 24/7, during the day, during the night. So that is another attribute. That is making, of course, technology doing so much or contributing so much to sustainable innovation. And then we have coordinating operations. I have a company that I love giving an example of. That is DHL, Ditch Post. The full meaning is Ditch Post. Such a company is a logistic company that is known, but it incorporates the aspect of logistics, the aspect of marketing, the aspect of advertising, the aspect of warehousing in one central region. If you look at a company like Jumia, Jumia can be able to coordinate operations by making sure that it receives customer orders. You order a phone from where you are. Jumia may be not having the phone or the type of phone that you may be requesting for. But what it does is going to go and inquire from a certain vendor and then coordinate of how, and that is why it tells you sometimes to wait for 3 to 4 days. It coordinates how it's going to receive that phone. It also coordinates how it's going to deliver the phone up to where you are. That is the coordinating operation. All this is done through technology. What are some of the impact of technology? In law, impact of technology on logistics and supply chain, of course we know, and especially in logistics and supply chain, we talk much about vendor relationship management. At this particular time, you can order through online means. You can communicate with the supplier through online means. You can be able to deliver products to the customers through online means. You can be able to communicate to your customers and offer them timely feedback through online means. And therefore, this is attributing so much in terms of sustainable innovation. What about technology in purchasing? How does technology impact on purchasing? Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware at this particular time, if we have a team of suppliers in US, we don't have to go to US and spend all that money. We can conduct what we call an online negotiation or what we call a virtual negotiation. We can be able to negotiate with suppliers via Skype, via this kind of big blue button, via any other, via Zoom or any other application that has come when we are just seated where we are. This has been enabled out of technology. Technology and operations. When we talk of operation, we talk of activities, and we are well aware that, of course, technology has simplified operations. It has made activities more easier. We can be able to determine ready time via technology. We can be able to determine the amount of stock that we have in a particular time in a particular organization via technology. We can be able to track, we can be able to locate items in the warehouse, items in the organization through technology. So in short, what you're saying, technology contributes so much in simplifying operations in the organization. The next one, we have technology on logistics. How does technology contribute on logistics? I said, of course, number one, it helps us in offering timely feedback to the customers. At this particular time, if I have a motor vehicle, or if we have a fleet of motor vehicles, I can be able to track where they are, what they are doing when I'm just seated. I can be able to determine the number of customers who may be wearing a particular product when I'm seated. So automatically when we talk of logistics, we are saying it has too much input. We can be able to determine the manufacturing time, or what we call the cycle time. We can be able to determine whether particular products are available or not. I can be able to call a supplier somewhere and determine whether a particular spare part is available or not. It helps in increasing accuracy. It helps in filling customer orders. Another aspect is technology on customer relationship. How does technology contribute to customer relationship? It contributes to customer relationship, I have said, by making sure that it integrates customer information and firm's information. We can be able to correct all customer specification via technology. I can call a customer. I can write an email to a customer and I correct all the specification of the kind of particular products. I can be able to inform the customer that a particular product is on the way and how long it's going to take before he gets it. Technology on vendor relationship, I had talked about it. Technology on firms. And then we have the technology life cycle. technology life cycle. When we talk of technology life cycle, we usually say that technology has the same life cycle as the product. Sometimes I always say that technology has also the same life cycle as a human being. Remember, there was a time you were born. That was the introduction stage. You were born. You knew very few things. You have been growing. There was a time you were saying you are a young girl, you are a young boy. You are still growing. At that particular time, you are in the growth stage. I don't know which stage, but you're going to determine by yourself which stage you are in now. It reaches somewhere and you start making your own decision. You start knowing that, of course, the life you are living is yours alone. You start making decision to invest. You start making decision to save. You start making decision to engage in some certain activities and not to engage in some certain activities. At that particular stage, we usually say you're in maturity stage. And maturity does not come with age. Sometimes you can be very small, very less in age, but you're mature enough. So maturity is where we usually say you are capable of making your own decision. You are capable of looking for money at your own. You reduce on the level of dependability that you have. And then we have the different stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we must agree today that we will reach a time, as much as you are so beautiful, as much as you are so handsome today, as much as you are hardworking and well, there will reach a time where you get old. And when you get old, your energy starts diminishing. Your effort starts diminishing. You start growing old. You start depending on your younger ones. You start losing memory. And at long run, ladies and gentlemen, we must agree that one day you will die. That is the decline stage. That is the stage that we are referring to as decline. Now, compare that with technology. Compare that with the product. There is a first time that the product comes in the market. That is the introduction stage. The product starts getting popularity, and some group of individuals start knowing of its origin, its essence. We refer to it as the growth stage. There is a time that everyone now knows that a certain product exists. Almost everyone. That is the maturity stage. But there is a time that that product no longer exists. Maybe it's outcompeted or it's made obsolete. It's made out of fashion. It's forced to come out of the market by maybe new products. That is the different stage. And there's a time, of course, we forget about it. That is the different stage. Those are the 4 stages. So, of course, now, in relation to technology, we are saying technology, like at this particular time, there was a time computers came, there was a time internet came, and everyone was embracing it. Everyone was embracing and very proud of whoever particular individual who has a phone. There was a time phones were very expensive. There was a time the first generation computers were so big. There was a time anyone could have seen you with a phone and then you could have belonged to a special class in the society. And then, of course, slowly but surely, people started getting phones. People started getting phones. Phones started becoming a little bit more cheaper. And then, of course, at this particular time, we can say, when we talk of phones, it's almost in the maturity stage. Everyone now owns a phone. If you don't have a phone, then you are declared as a person who the society even don't understand. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to believe me that one day the kind of phone that you're using will die. Think of the button kind of phone. It is dying slowly. We now have touch screen phones, smartphones now existing. But believe me, one day they'll also go out of the market, and we shall have another new kind or new model of phones that are going to replace. I don't know how they are going to be looking like, but you can try to predict. That is how technology evolves. So technology adoption. In technology adoption, we relate it with the technology life cycle. Think of it. In the introduction stage, we have been told that we have these guys we call innovators. Who are innovators? These are the first people to know the existence of a certain technology when it is still new in the market. This kind of individuals in the society are more risk-oriented. They are more reading edge-minded individuals. They are more interested in technology development. These people form a small portion of the market. The reason behind is because not everyone is always willing to take the first risk. You can just imagine if you hear Samsung Galaxy S10 has come in the market, and the cost of such phone is more than 100,000. How many people do buy it for the first time, for the first week? The people who buy it for the first week at such expensive cost are the people you are referring to as the innovators. Then we have the next category, that is the early adopters. We shall find the early adopters still may be belonging to the class, the introduction stage or the early growth stage. We shall find that these guys first wait for innovators to buy the phone, and then when they gain confidence that these guys have bought phones, these guys have embraced this kind of technology and it is helping them, these guys now start copying or imitating these guys. They start now acquiring this kind of phones. And that is why we refer to them as early adopters. They are still small in proportion. They are also risk-oriented because they still buy, if it is a phone, when it is still a little bit more expensive. Now maybe the phone has now only lowered its value by maybe 10,000, it's 90,000. So you can find them. These are the guys, we call them a little bit more generally risk-oriented. But we have to wait first for the innovators to buy the phone and then they adopt. And then we have the guys called early majority. We have the early majority and late majority. Let's start with the early majority. These are the guys who come after the early adopters. These guys belong to the growth stage. They belong to the growth stage. And more much, sometimes they also belong to the early maturity stage. They are larger in proportion, but they wait until technology embraces fashion, until people have tried and verified that a particular technology is working properly. These people are more risk averse. They don't like taking so much risk. They first wait for the innovators and the early adopters to buy the phones, to embrace the technology, and then thereafter they are able to gain the confidence in buying particular products. That is the early majority. And then we have the late majority. The late majority, they are number 4 in position and they belong to the maturity stage. If we can talk of the characteristics, they are slightly conservative and they are more risk averse compared to others. They have to wait. They are reluctant in embracing technology. They have to wait for the innovators first to buy, the early adopters to buy, and the early majority also to buy. They are the last, almost the last people to buy or embrace technology. Mostly, I'm very sure, and you shall tell me this is where you belong. We have a large proportion of these individuals. You have to wait for people to start mentioning that we have a particular new phone called Samsung. The innovators buy, and they are the first people to buy Samsung phone. And then we have the early adopters being the second to buy. And then we have the early majority now following. And then for you, you first have to confirm that the Samsung we are talking about is functioning properly. The Samsung we are talking about at least has more benefits than any other kind of phone. And then that is the moment you embrace. Lastly, we have another category we call the laggards. The laggards belong to the decline stage. This is a group of individuals in a society whom we say are slightly very conservative. They are extremely frugal, and they occupy a small proportion of the population. Remember, much of the population was occupied in the society was occupied by the early majority and the late majority. So when we talk of now the laggards, we are talking of the old individuals, old parents in the villages. Ladies and gentlemen, you can agree with me, even as we are talking, there are some still old individuals in our society who have not acquired even the button kind of phone. These are the individuals you are calling the laggards. They are the last to embrace technology. We have to wait for all individuals first to embrace technology before they make an ample decision of investing in technology. They are the last to acquire anything that is fashion oriented. We refer to them as the laggards. From there, we have talked of dynamics of sustainable procurement, and they include, of course, one, it promotes innovation. Allow me to pause first so that I connect power. I hope you are still together. Hello again. I believe we are continuing very well. So you can now again mute your mic.
Soma alafu nifanyie exam.
Kindly now you can mute your mic. Mute your mic now. Let's have our second session of our class. Kindly mute your mic. Mifat, mute your mic. Jane, mute your mic. Eunice, Jacqueline, Christine, Vivian, mute your mic now. I've come again. We are almost through with the topic, and I was talking of dynamics of sustainable procurement. And when you talk of the dynamic of sustainable procurement, kindly mute your mics. When you're talking of dynamics of sustainable procurement, we are talking of the drivers or the reasons why we should be practicing sustainable procurement. Remember, our topic title is technology and sustainable innovation. Can sustainable procurement promote sustainable innovation? That is the question. So, of course, this includes sustainable procurement will enhance or will stimulate or will promote innovation. We said sustainable procurement involves buying from the right mix of suppliers, buying quality products from suppliers. Number 2, life cycle costing. Life cycle costing. When we talk of life cycle costing, it's something that we do or we should be practicing in procurement. Sorry, let me just, I think, have a problem with power. I'm back. I'm again back. Vivat, mute your mic, kindly mute your mic so that we continue. So I was talking of whole life costing, and when we talk of not whole life but life cycle costing, when we talk of life cycle costing, we always say that we should be accounting for all elements from when a product has been manufactured to when it's going to be disposed. I think we guys in procurement, we have a certain perception or notion that we don't have any waste. I sell to you a product, you use it, I buy to you, I recycle it, I sell to you again, you use it, I buy again or get it again from you, I recycle it, I sell it to you again. That is life cycle costing. And that is why we are embracing the element of recyclability, recycling. We are embracing the element of reusing. I sell to you mineral water, you drink water, you throw the bottle, I send people to go collect those bottles, I come, I recycle them, I clean them, I pack water again, I sell it to you. There is no any waste. That is the life cycle costing we are referring to. With that, there is no any environmental degradation that you are going to have. You are not going to destroy the environment in any way. That is life cycle costing. Number 3 is labor. Labor, of course, labor comes with the stock location, and it talks much about does the product or service have specific environmental, social, or other characteristics which are verified by a label. That is a fair trade. You guys, you must understand today that even if a phone is manufactured, your own phone, at the back of the battery, there must be certain labels telling you that the radioactive elements are a certain proportion. That automatically is telling us that the phone is environmental friendly. It must be having some certain labels or instruction warning you not to charge the phone or not to leave the phone in the charge for a longer period of time. Those are the labels. We are saying we must be having cautions or warnings. We must be having information or instructions that are helping in improving the efficiency of a product. And then we have whole life costing. Remember we had life cycle costing, and then we have whole life costing. Whole life costing focuses more much on the product, from production again to disposal, or from what we call from cradle to grave. When I talk of whole life costing, I talk of a modern parent. I think if you want your kid to be a future and responsible, mature human being, it's always good to start when the kid is so young. Take the kid to a good school, nurture the kid to be a God-fearing person, control and discipline the kid to follow good virtues in the society. But when you leave your kid to be careless in the name of loving the kid, automatically, at the end of the day, there will be somewhere the kid will go at a mess. That is the whole life costing. Let's concentrate on the quality of the product. From when the product has been manufactured, to when the product is going to be taken to the organization store, to when the product is going to be taken or delivered to the customers, to when the product is going to be disposed or cradled to the grave. That is what you are referring to as whole life costing. Remember, when we talk of life cycle costing, we talked of additional environmental cost, like recycling, like reusing, which was more much about minding about the whole life of a product. But whole life, we are saying nurturing the product from when it has been manufactured, from the conceptual part of it to when the product is going to be disposed. Lastly, we have life cycle impact mapping. Life cycle impact mapping. This focuses on social and environmental impact rather than just cost. We are advised, we guys in procurement, that is always prudent for us not to look more on the prices of the product that you are buying, on the prices of the raw materials that you are buying. Let's go an extra mile to consider the environmental impact that the product has on the society. Let's consider the social impact that the product has on the society. That is the life cycle impact mapping. That let's not only concentrate on the cost or price of the product. Let's mind about the quality. Let's mind about the environmental impact. Let's mind about the social impact that the product is causing to the society. Conceptual problems of technology development. What are some of the problems that we have with technology development and sustainable innovation? One, we have declining resources. When we talk of declining resources, we are seeing we have very few companies which find growth while facing declining resources. Remember, we have renewable resources. This kind of resources, the moment they are exhausted or they harvested, it's hard. There's no way you can replace oil. The moment we harvest oil, the moment we harvest minerals, we cannot replace them with anything else. So this is creating a lot of trouble, and especially in the areas of sustainability. Remember the wildlife. We are minding so much about them in Kenya. The moment, of course, we kill all the elephants that we have through poaching, automatically we shall not have any other elephant left. Remember the dinosaurs? Up to date, their history, we just read the history. They were mammals, they were of this height, they were of this size. But because maybe at that particular time, whoever was there did not take much care about the environment, that is why they declined. That is the decline in resources. Number two, the critical balance between scale, reliability, and cost. When we talk of critical balance between scale, reliability, and cost, we are saying, of course, bringing a new product or service in the market is challenging, because we want the product to grow, so there is a risk of growing. We also want, look at it, you want a quality product. You don't want the product to be expensive. You want the product to serve you for a longer period of time. Is it possible for you to achieve all those at a go? In most cases, you find that a quality product is always very expensive. So very few will afford it. So therefore, having such kind of balance is always a challenge, and especially innovation. Because let's talk of e-procurement. E-procurement is the best kind of system that has come to simplify operations in procurement. But now what about the cost of acquiring it? What about the cost of implementing it? What about the cost of training workers? It's very expensive at the end of the day. So of course, when you try to balance, you find that very many people will forego technology in the name of price. Number three, undetermined uncertainties. Undetermined uncertainties is a very serious challenge in technology. Think of it, at this particular time, 20 years ago, who could have predicted that button kind of phones will one day cease out of the market? There was a time Nokia used to dominate the market with its simplification in terms of the phones that it was issuing. But now, who could have forecasted that Nokia would not be a brand again? That if you find today someone with Nokia, there are still some question marks. The next time we have technology challenge, and that is the rapid changing technology. I always say there is no one who can boast for me that you have the most kind of modern phone, you have the best kind of computer. Because today, you find that we have Samsung Galaxy S10. Tomorrow, even before Samsung Galaxy S10 reaches the market, we have Samsung Galaxy S11 with more new features. Technology is changing with time, with seconds, every day. That is what you're talking about. And then lack of government support. And especially for the small industries, for the infant companies that are coming up, you find, of course, think of it. Just have an imagination that today you form a company in telecommunication and you want people to buy or to embrace it. When Safaricom is a giant and almost a monopoly company in the telecommunication industry, they will suppress you. If the government does not support you, my dear friends, you not end up going anywhere. And that is why you have some several telecommunication industries or companies not surviving the Kenyan market, because we already have giant companies that can suppress. I always give an example of this company, East African Breweries, and some other companies like Lion that came from Tanzania. What happened when it came to the Kenyan market? East African Breweries was not comfortable, and therefore it had to buy all these beers and damage them, to understand that the company suffered a lot of loss. And it evacuated the market. It had no option apart from selling a lion's share to East African Breweries. Those are the kind of rivalry that we have amongst companies. The last one is lack of skilled power. Lack of skilled manpower, where everyone is not trained, not everyone is familiar about technology. Some people are ignorant. Technology comes with its own cost of training. I'm very sure even as we are talking, not every one of you is proficient in terms of computer skills. I'm very sure as we are talking, some of you suffered seriously when it came to the exam. They either were not able to type, they were either hiring someone to try and help them to type, but that is ignorance. There's no way you can survive in the modern world without computer skills. Those are some of the conceptual problems or challenges that we have with technology development and innovation. So from there we have application of sustainable innovation, which is the last bit of it. And we have said it involves bringing into common usage of ideas. Yes, of course, sustainable innovation helps bringing into use some ideas, some concepts, some practices, some new products, some new changes in the environment, some new changes in the way people relate, some new changes in the way the economy is. That is what we are mentioning. Some few changes in the way people value each other. Those are some of the application of sustainable innovation. And I think that is the end. That is the end of our today's topic. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. I think now it's an open forum for you to ask any question concerning the topic. The notes are open. You can find them. So in case you have any query, you can ask it in the public chat. And I think I have ended my session. Any question? If there is no question, kindly everyone to confirm. If you have a question, ask a question. If you don't have a question, kindly just like no question. If you have a question on the topic, ask the question. If you don't have a question, confirm and say there is no question. Eunice has confirmed there is no question. Brian is saying he's very okay. Marianne is saying there's no question. What about the rest? Christine is asking whether there is CAT 2. Yes, there is CAT 2. Christine, we shall be having CAT 2, that is before exams. There is no question, Vivian. CAT 2 will be there. I don't know whether you have been able to see your marks on CAT 1. I don't know whether I'm through, but you're supposed to be seeing them. If you have not seen them, just wait in the next 10 minutes. I'm going to have finished them. I'm waiting your confirmation. You can also ask any question concerning the CAT. Or someone is asking about the attendance. I will update the attendance this right now. I almost forgot about it. Like this particular time, I can confirm that I only had 5 students. Why? It's because, of course, if you guys can check, even without marking the attendance, we have the recording. the BBB recording, it shows how many people attended that session. So we correct attendance from there. It's only that I have not transferred. But the BB shows us the attendance. Any question? Thank you, Marianne, for your concern. I will make sure that I update the attendance. So I think we can now end our class officially. One thing that I just have to note is that I noted you guys, most of you are not contributing in the discussion forum. Before you leave the session, make sure you go contribute in the discussion forum, because it is the one that makes the assignments. It is the one that you are going to sum up and make the assignments. So if you don't contribute in the discussion forum, you lose all the assignments. We shall be having part 2 maybe the 8th or the 10th week. Any other question? Thank you for your time. Go to the discussion forum before you leave. Contribute. Thank you so much.